After Ismail came many generations following upon the faith and practices of their fathers Ibrahim and Ismail, their deeds and names lost to history, but their legacy still known in the corners of the heavens and earth. Then came from this noble line one called Adnan, his name bearing the meaning of one who remains, one who endures. And thus he was. For Adnan became one of the most famous ancestors of the Arabs, from whom most Arabs from generations later would claim ancestry. A noble man and a noble custodian, he became the first to drape the Kaaba, the sacred house built by his ancestors Ibrahim and Ismail, whose religion and teachings he held onto throughout his life. But custodianship is not an easy task, nor is the light passed on to one unworthy. For Adnan soon would gather together the tribes and lead them in defense of their lands against King Saul's army. After Adnan, the light passed on to his son Mad, his name bearing the meaning of one ready for war. And war it was, for they fought in countless battles against Bani Israel, carrying the light upon their blessed forehead. So prominent was the light that two prophets by the names of Ermia and Abraha pleaded with his people to protect him from the conflicts erupting, for they feared his martyrdom. During his time, he was also met by King Nebuchadnezzar, who under the guidance of his advisors and viziers treated him with utmost respect. As is the natural order with one with such nobility and fierce leadership, he later became the ruler of an area in Arabia called Tama. Then followed his son Nadar, his name bearing the meaning of one that is rare, for he was a rare gem of nobility and intelligence amongst a harsh landscape hostile to the inception of such qualities. As was his inner, so was his outer, for his beauty was so great that never did he enter upon kings but they would stand up and honor him. After him came his son Mudar, his name meaning white, as he himself was of light-skinned complexion. Mudar was known for his mastery of camels, and under him these blessed creatures became known as the ships of the desert, as Mudar established the process of caravanning using camels. He taught the people how to load camels, how to transport with camels, how to move in the desert with them, and most importantly, how to sing to them. For just as a beautiful melody soothes the soul, so it invigorated these creatures, allowing them to forget the weight of the burdens they carry. Then came his son Ilyas, bearing the name of the prophet that came before him. Known for his wisdom, he would not talk with the people, except that his words were full of insight and deep meaning, dispelling ignorance and falsehood. But not limited to just words, he also founded the practice of ritual slaughter of camels, a practice unknown to those before him. With Ilyas also came the return of Maqam Ibrahim and Hajar al-Aswad, the former of which had been relegated from its immemorial place next to the Kaaba to the foothills of Mount Safa prior to his advent. Following Ilyas came his son Mudrika, his name meaning the one who achieves or overtakes, named by his father Ilyas after an incident in which he overtook camels that had run away. He achieved great things and had lofty characteristics that were rare for dwellers of the desert. He was followed by Khuzaimah, the one who strengthens or corrects. Both were present when the tribulation of idols began amongst their people, and both clung to the path of their forefather Ibrahim. For these noble beings were not created to serve fallacious figures. And thus the light advanced from Khuzaimah to his son Kinana, named after the quiver, for whom people would come from far and wide just to glance at his illuminated face and to benefit from his immense generosity, for which he was equally renowned. Once, while sleeping under the shade of the blessed Kaaba, he was met with a dream in which an unknown voice set before him a difficult choice. You have a choice of the four: horses and camels, buildings, a long life in name, or a long life in breath. He responded, "O Allah, you have the power to give me all four, so I choose all four." And so he was granted all in his life. Kinana was followed by his son Nadr, meaning reddish, on account of their ruddy complexion, who was then followed by his son Malik, who, like his grandfather before him, was a great tribal leader, known for their majestic and awe-inspiring appearance. Malik was then followed by his son Fihr, who would also become known as Quraysh, from whom many tribes later would claim lineage and prestige. Respected and loved by his tribe, he was known for fulfilling the needs of pilgrims who came to perform the Hajj, the practice established by his ancestor Ibrahim. But his service to Allah's house did not stop there, for when the Himyarites of Yemen advanced on Mecca, intending to appropriate the Kaaba and transport it to their homeland, Fihr led a confederation of Arab tribes, repelling the Himyarites from their lands. From Fihr passed the light to his son Ghalib, and Ghalib passed the light onto his son Lu'ay. Lu'ay was known for his wisdom and his good temperament, both qualities loved by his people. It was foretold to the Yemeni king Tuba that the final prophet would emerge from the line of Lu'ay, and so the light passed on to his son Kab, who in his time began the practice of gathering the people on Friday, where he would give advice and lessons to his people, allowing them to benefit from his wisdom, whilst reminding them to be mindful of the Creator. Kab passed the light to his son Murrah, whose name carried the meaning of strength. From him came his son Kilab, from whose children many of the notable Quraysh tribes descended, but the light could only pass to one, and so it passed to his son Qusay, who would change the fate of the Quraysh forever.